Welcome back. 2 weeks ago, I started a series where I wanted to talk about different types of raffles. And I began with a raffle that I don't really like very much. It's the 50/50 raffle. I'll include a link to that below so you can go watch that video. But the crux of it is the reason I don't like a 50/50 raffle is most people who are planning their gala, certainly if you're watching me and other videos right now on how to plan a gala, you're way too organized to be using a 50/50 raffle, which is something that is probably best used at a last minute gala. The reason being is that you're giving away 50% of the prize, and that seems extraordinarily high to me. So today I wanted to talk about another raffle, and this is a raffle that I like quite a bit. A number of my clients use it. We call it a best of live raffle, and a best of live raffle might be called something different in your area. So if I start describing this and you're like, wait a second, we call it a golden ticket or we call it some other name, just know that in this business, names are a dime a dozen, and it seems like you really need to describe what the raffle is or the game is to know what someone's talking about. Everybody's got different names for things. So the best of live raffle, the gist of it is that you're selling a higher ticket price. Now, in your market, a high ticket price might be $250. It might be $100. It might be $50. Got to think about your area, but it's a high ticket price and you're selling a limited number of tickets. So for instance, you might be selling 50 tickets at $100. Thereby, you're going to make $5,000 on that raffle. Maybe you're going to sell a $200 ticket and you're going to sell 100 of those. Great. You're going to make $20,000 on your raffle. We'll talk a little bit here in a moment about how you choose how many tickets and kind of what that price point should be. But right now, just know that that's the gist. Higher ticket price, limited number of tickets. Now, what is the prize? This is where it gets really juicy because the prize is whatever package the winning guest wants from the live auction. Right before the live auction, we're going to pull the winner. We're going to ask the winner, hey, you won. Which of these 10 packages in the live auction would you like as your prize? And they get to choose. So buyers love this because you're not telling them what the item is. They are deciding for themselves what they like. It forces them to get a little bit savvy with the items in advance, which I love as an auctioneer because I love educated buyers. These buyers during the reception period are focused in. When they asked if you'd like to buy a ticket, it's $100. They'll step back and they'll go, oh, $100. Well, what's the prize? I'll say, any of these items over here, take a look at them. Well, then they start focusing more because they're like, oh, well, maybe there's something here I want. And they're more likely to buy. So I love the fact that you're marketing the live auction items. I also love the buyers love the fact that you're able to choose your prize. You're not telling them what the prize is. And they like the fact that there's odds. Anybody who understands odds, they're like, ooh, juicy. I could be 1 in 50 to win. 1 in 100. Those are the odds. That's great. So the buyers like it for that reason. I like it from the standpoint of the nonprofit because several reasons. Number one, you're helping to market your live auction items. People are getting involved and in advance before the live auction starts, figuring out what they want. I also like it because it enables you to put another item into the live auction, knowing that one item is going to be withdrawn. So maybe you're trying to decide between these 6 items. You only want 5 items in your live auction, but you've got 6 really spectacular items. No big deal. With the best of live, one of those items is going to disappear because right before the live auction begins, we pull our winner and I say, Sue Joyce, you have won the best of live. What item would you like? And they do a little scream and then they have to look at that list and go, oh, what do we want? What do we want? And they'll choose. It's interesting to me because you might think that everybody's going to go after the same item. But if you've got a really strong, well-balanced live auction, that won't be the case. In fact, if you're the type of an event like maybe you're in a state where you can sell raffle tickets in advance, maybe you're selling these raffle tickets online to people who are not even attending the event, you can get a really good idea as to whether or not you have a strong live auction based on the live auction, best of live ticket sales. Because if you've got a well-balanced live auction, the ticket sales as they come in, there's going to be people that are vying on all of those. Like you might have 70 tickets sold in advance for your best of live. And as you look through those ticket sales, people who are not attending, but they've told you what they want in advance, you can say, oh, look, 12 of them are going towards this trip and another 14 are going towards this other trip. And these 8 people want the dinner and these 6 people are interested in the helicopter ride. So it gives you a lot of confidence going into that event. If everybody who buys a ticket is looking at the same package, that's when you know you don't have a good live auction. I'm sorry to tell you, but it gives you a heads up right then and there that, oof, okay, nobody likes anything in our live auction except this one item. So it's kind of a good, it's the canary in the coal mine, if you will, kind of giving you a warning as to how your live auction is going to go that night. The other piece that is good for you, if you're operating this type of a raffle, if you are selling if you have some doubles or triples, you have the opportunity to sell more than one in your live auction. Maybe you're using trip consignment, for instance. So you know that one of the items there is a consigned item that you could sell multiples of. If that item is chosen in the best of live, then you certainly have the option of continuing to sell it during the auction. So yes, it's chosen as the live auction, as the best of live prize, but you go ahead and offer it anyway in the live auction. I love the fact as well that you're helping to market your live auction items in advance, because once you are in the reception period and you're advertising this raffle to people, usually the first thing they give you is a confused look because they don't exactly understand. So they'll say, wait a minute, you mean that I could choose any of these items if I win? And I'll say, yes, you can, because right before the live auction is when we draw. And if your name's drawn, you choose which item it is. The first thing they start doing is reading about the live auction items, because now it becomes intriguing. Now they want to know more. So even if they don't win the best of live raffle, they're educated buyers. And now maybe they weren't going to play at all in the live auction, but now that they've seen some of the items, they'll start participating in some of the items. So I like that. They can get involved in the bidding now that they're educated buyers. And then, like as mentioned, you can pre-sell some of these. So for many of my clients who've been doing this for a while, they are able to pre-sell these. And when we're going in that night, we might only be selling the final 20 of 100 tickets, which then once we sell out the remaining of those 20 tickets, we can focus on selling another raffle or a different game, making money in a different way. So like that too, if you can pre-sell. Not everybody can. Not everybody has the software that enables that or the manpower behind the scenes to make that happen. But if you can market in advance and sell those tickets in advance, it's a great way to not only get eyes on your live auction items, but then get that momentum going into the event. So that night, when we're on site, we can start selling something else as soon as we sell out of that best of live raffle. So I have found this to be incredibly effective. There's been a number of stories over the years where people will, you think that everybody's going to go for some item and you just see that they don't. Somebody's going to go for the wine lot that isn't worth a lot of money. And you're just like, oh, wow. Okay, great. Glad they chose that. Other times they'll choose a consigned item, which you're like, okay, good. We've taken care of that, but we can sell more. Now let's talk a little bit about the price setting itself. How do you know where to put, how many tickets to sell or what the amount of the ticket should be? Well, as mentioned, as far as where to price the ticket, you want it to be high. So if in your market, a $200 ticket, it would be considered a high ticket that's still being sold. That might be where you want to land. For most of my clients, it's at the $100 level. And then we play around with the number of tickets that we're offering. So case in point, a couple days ago, I was visiting with a client and they are new to this raffle. We looked at some of their past data and they had the highest selling item that they had was $4,200 for the last 3 years. That had been the highest selling item. Smaller event. That's what they had done. So we talked about, well, we could sell 45 tickets or 50 tickets at $100 and they'd be thrilled with that, because even if the item that they think is going to sell for the most in the auction is the one chosen as the prize, no big deal, because the odds are it probably wouldn't have sold for over 4,200 anyway, because that's what it sold, in the last 2 years. That was their highest selling item. So that's one way to do it, is to look at what you have generally sold things for in the past 2-3 years and look at the highest selling item and then base the number of tickets that you can sell off of that. Keeping in mind that if you only have 100 people coming to your gala, you're not going to sell 100 tickets. You got to create that limited number that people realize the value. Another way to set your ticket price is you can look at the value of the items that you're offering. So let's say that most of your items are valued at $2,000, $2,500, but you got one here that's valued at $4,000. Well, you might say, all right, we want to at least cover the cost of that value. If that item is chosen, we would feel good about this raffle making at least $4,000 for us, because that's the value of that item. So that might be 40 tickets at $100. It might be 50 tickets at $100, somewhere around that $4,000 mark. And that's what you offer. And that's how you come up with your numbers. So it's a little bit of analysis of how many people are coming, what's going to happen as far as like your values are concerned and what your past sales have been. But you want it to be special, especially that first year. Don't get greedy. If you get greedy and you're like, oh, let's sell 100 tickets at $100, and you don't have the capacity to do that, you don't have the manpower to do it, it's the first year, people don't understand the raffle, then you're going to be really disappointed trying to sell those final 100 tickets, however many are left. You don't want to do that. It's better to be conservative and careful in that first year of offering the best of live. And when you sell out, the next year you can say, hey, this sold out so fast last year, get your tickets now. So maybe I had one client, they started out with 50 tickets the first year. They sold out very quickly. We went to 75 tickets the next year. They sold out very quickly. And then they went to 100 tickets. And that was the sweet spot for them, because at 100 tickets, they sold about 3/4 of their tickets before the gala even started. We were able to sell the final few on site at the event with a little bit of work. I mean, we had to work it, but we got her done. So 100 tickets was the right amount of tickets to sell for them. Start slow and low and then build up. And by year 2 or 3, you're going to have found your sweet spot for sure, based on how fast the tickets are. But once those buyers understand, I'm telling you, once they understand, wow, you mean I can choose any item here out of the live auction? They are going to get excited. That makes it easier to pay for that higher ticket price, because they realize that they're going to get that trip to Portugal for $100, or that dinner for 12 in their home for $100, or whatever, that high-end wine that they've been admiring. They're going to get that for $100. They get excited about that. Okay. For other great ideas, go ahead and head over to redappleauctions.com. You can always subscribe, of course, on here as well to be alerted to upcoming videos. I'm going to be talking about raffles here for a while, just giving you some different ideas on what you can incorporate into your event, if, of course, they are legal where you live. I'm Sherry Truler with Red Apple Auctions. Hey, thanks for watching, and good luck to you at your next gala.